Okay, here we are, Matthew Russell Lee, Inner City Press, here in Foldy Square. It's the first vlog of 2024, at least by us, January, Inner City Press. January 2nd, 2024. We're covering the Southern District of New York courthouses and other courthouses. Now, one thing we have to clean up from 2023, Sam Bankman-Fried, the decision filed on the last business day of the year after 5 o'clock to not pursue the second trial, the promised second trial against Sam Bankman-Fried on the China bribe and political contribution violations charges, we think it's notable. It's not just, some people have tried over the weekend to say, well, it just saves the government money, or he's already going to get a lot of time. Some even tried to say that the sentence in the second trial would run concurrently. That's not necessary. That's really not the case. And we've seen other people, for example, Joshua Schulte, 3 trials. Even after they convicted him in the second trial, they did a third trial. So it's a choice. And the question is, rather than getting into the motives, what are the ramifications of the choice? And the thing is that there is information that would come out in a second trial about China bribes and the political contributions that we don't yet know. And here's the proof of the pudding to those disbelieving this, is to just go back over, either if you transcript if you get it, or Inner City Press live tweeted it, and it's also in a book called Crypto Criminal, SBF's Conviction, how many times Judge Kaplan sustained objections to information coming in about the China bribes or about the political contributions, since he wasn't charged with that in the first trial. This was a matter for the second trial, and now the second trial is gone. Whoosh. So it's a big problem. Of course, journalism can try to fill in the gap, and we will be continuing to pursue this, but there is a difference. Now, coming up this week, unless there are other stays, and there's a lot of speculation, but the unsealing in Giuffre versus Maxwell of Jeffrey Epstein files may have some new information. Various big media have also written about it, so it's no longer a fringe thing, but we are all over it, as some have asked us to be. We watch this feed, Inner City Press on Twitter. Oh, we actually have subscriptions now, so you might want to check those out. In other news here, at the cusp of global and legal, in the case of Juan Orlando Hernandez, the former president of Honduras, his brother was convicted. He's not yet been put to trial on narco charges. The brother pretty much did it with him. Very difficult to see. Who knows what's going to happen? But he did a filing just before the New Year's lull, in which I guess he wanted to say, I've actually served the United States, and not just the existing claim that he was great, tough on drugs, which I think was disproved in the trial of the brother and of another henchman, but that he helped the U.S. on Taiwan and Israel, and then it's all redacted. So we're going to be pursuing that as well. Finally, we turn to the United Nations. The United Nations, I don't know, can we say a whole organization is corrupt? We can say the organization is ineffective and inept and seemingly bound to go the way of the League of Nations. The head guy, Antonio Guterres, I'm going to say is a corrupt censor, because the moment Inner City Press raised questions about omissions from his financial statements, suddenly physically roughed up and banned. And there's just, some are now support him because of his finger in the wind policies on recent conflicts. But the reality is an organization that preaches press freedom, it's a shocking outrage that the guy can have the press banned and have his Melissa Fleming, his chief communications officer, not even answer letters from pro bono law firms. That's something we're going to get to the bottom of in 2022. But in the UN Security Council, which failed miserably in 2023 on both Ukraine, Gaza, and every other conflict on its agenda, some guys are leaving. Brazil, they blocked Inner City Press on Twitter. UAE, no answers. There's some new guys coming on. Algeria, taking the place of the UAE. Guyana, sure to mix it up with Venezuela. Sierra Leone, in an African scene. There's actually no Francophone Africa in this. Looks, who knows? Slovenia, not Slovakia, excuse me. Slovenia, well known for bees and some other things. And South Korea. So those are the lineup coming in, and we're going in with an open mind. And the reality is this: what these missions, these countries, I suppose, in terms of their foreign ministries, need to know is that it's no excuse to censor and ban the press that covers the UN more than the people they have in there, just because Guterres does. You cannot hide behind Guterres. It's tempting. He does provide a very large bit of shade, but it's not going to be acceptable. And so we've written to the French presidency for this month for access. We'll see. But we're rewriting to all 5, and all 5 will be judged on their own behavior, not on how well they slavishly follow the corrupt censor, Antonio Guterres, toward the shameful demise and lack of credibility of the United Nations. To be continued. Inner City Press, 2024.